Welcome to another episode of the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Today, as always, joined with me, James Pinard Jr., my co-host. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's going up? Halloween's around the corner, man. Are you excited for Halloween?
Not really. Not really, dude. Today we're kind of playing to a different audience. So not only is everybody listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, but today is the first time that we're doing a segment on YouTube, man. Are you excited about that?
It's a new start for us and practically a new beginning. And everyone check this out. This is just the beginning of everything. So
Man, everybody has been begging us to get on YouTube. So look, our podcasts are kind of long. We're not going to do a whole YouTube podcast and we're not going to do these live, but what we will do is we're going to put a piece of our podcast on the YouTube format so you guys can check us out from a different audience. The full show is always available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, wherever you guys get your podcasts. We're on just about every audio platform there is. Come check us out, man, the Pro Wrestling Shoot. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel because we're going to be posting stuff every week for you guys. I'm excited, man. I'm going to kick it off with some prestige news. If you guys have been listening to the podcast lately, we've been announcing prestige news every single week for Roseland on February 20th, right, James?
that is correct. The week after the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir, man. Oh, this is so it's getting pretty good. I don't know if you've seen the announcements, but MB Young is coming to Roseland. I'm really excited about that.
Your boy.
Did you see that announcement?
I did see that one. And I know you're very, very strong about him. So
MB's cool, man. You're gonna love watching him. They also announced a match, dude. We got one match announced. We still got 4 months to wait for this event. Malachi Black versus Davey Richards, dude. They didn't even announce Davey Richards for this event, and they just announced him in the match. Straight William fashion, man. Shout out to Prestige Wrestling. Can't wait for this event. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never seen David Richards or obviously Malachi Black. And we've seen, technically, me and you did technically see him live in person, just not as Malachi Black, but still it's a big damn deal,
Yeah. You've never watched Davey Richards live?
No,
in his Impact days? You ever went to Impact and
I've never been to an Impact. It was always Raw, SmackDown, and like 3 or 4 SummerSlams I went to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I've
so
never
seen bunch of WWE. Hey, in WWE news, tonight Greg Hamilton got released. Did you get that news?
No, I did not.
Yeah, man. He was trying to flex with his with the WWE lawyers on somebody using his soundbite of his voice or something. WWE has now released him. Note to self: if you ever get signed to WWE, don't flex with their lawyers.
No, that's the wrong thing to do. Vince is lesson learned. He's been there for some time now.
Yeah. It's kind of a shocker to see him gone. I don't know, man. I kind of liked Greg Hamilton. I thought he was a good ring announcer.
Well, maybe AEW is on the call with him for all we know, or Impact.
Was he the dude that always did the for Edge rated R superstar?
No, that was Chimmel. That was Tony Chimmel.
Oh, okay.
I think it was.
He's the one that did the one fall then, huh? And everybody started chanting one fall. This contest is scheduled for one fall.
Yeah,
they still do that at Prestige events every time. I think that the ring announcers for Prestige has also cut that out. I'm not sure if they're going to stick with that.
When I went to Defy, and every time they just said one fall, everyone just went off and said this one fall chant.
Yeah. So guys, I don't know if you listened to the podcast last week, but some weird stuff was going on. I don't know what happened to my post-production in the podcast, but we're having some shenanigans aboard. Whoever's placing false phone calls in here, I don't know, man. I feel like we're getting hacked. We're getting tapped. I don't know what's going on here. Somebody's taking over my post-production and doing some weird stuff with it. I don't agree with it. I've reached out to Spotify to have them remove some of these clips. I don't know how they're getting in there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I guess go listen to the last podcast before they finally do something about it and remove these phone calls that they have stolen from us and invaded our privacy. Did you listen to the podcast, James?
I did, and I was wondering who this mystery person was trying to take over our show, practically trying to shoot on our show, if you will. And that's not going to go around here.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, man. We'll see what's up. Hopefully, none of the shenanigans happen again this week on the show. One thing's for sure, I am doing the editing for these videos, so at least our YouTube channel won't be messed with. Moving on, man. I'm tired of talking about this. This stuff is frustrating. I'm trying to figure out who is playing phone calls of me and Chris Williams and who's playing phone calls of me and you, James. I know the phone call with me and Chris Williams, that was not me. Somebody is using some Halloween foolery and dubbing my voice in there. This is getting out of hand, dude. Anyway, on to better things. Have you watched the last 2 episodes of Dark Side of the Ring?
I did. Very, how would you put it? I guess a good combo, like a different combo. Of
Luna's
things.
was good.
Luna's was good.
I really enjoyed Luna's.
XPW's was very
interesting,
if you will.
Yeah,
very ECW.
Yeah,
lots backstage.
Lots of shenanigans in that XPW episode, man. Wasn't quite sure what to think about it. I will not bring a lot of the stuff up that happened on XPW on this podcast, just because this beginning segment is going to be up on YouTube and we're trying to monetize a little bit. No swearing, as the great Danhausen would say, no swearing. Yeah, I mean, it's just getting crazy, guys. We have the final episode. By the time this video drops, you will have seen the final episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which is, I do believe, the steroid trials, right?
I believe that's next. Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's next.
Yeah, that's the final. That's the finale.
Mm-hmm.
So and then we're on to season 4 of Dark Side. I don't even know what do you think? If there is a
season 4.
If they do a season 4 for Dark Side of the Ring, what do you think they're gonna do? What do you think they're gonna talk about?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, like we talked about this some time ago, and we're like, what else can they cover?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, they pretty much covered like majority of like everything that people have been looking out for. Hell, I had some suggestions, but I don't recall what they were about. Do you have any on your plate that you can think of?
I mean, China, maybe. I guess
that's the only one that could.
But I still don't even think that would really be a Dark Side episode. I mean, it could be, but I mean, it's sad to say, but maybe Daphne. I don't know.
I think it's too soon for Daphne.
I don't think that they should do a Daphne episode.
That's a little.
I'm
too
just saying,
soon.
like these are the only 2 Dark Side. I'm not really sure. Like what else they can do, because I feel like season 3 was kind of just they were just kind of throwing stuff out there, telling certain stories. It wasn't really too dark. I mean, Luna's was really good. I really enjoyed Luna's. I thought that was probably one of the best episodes of the season, if not the best episode of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you had your controversial ones. You had Plane Ride to Hell, which obviously everyone was getting canceled. Ric Flair, Cena.
Yeah.
And then talking about promotions, like obviously XPW, one Japanese one that went under or still around, but they kind of had a big fallout. There's so much they covered.
I thought XPW was a good episode for Dark Side, because that was a pretty dark episode in some of the stuff that they did. I really enjoyed Brian Pillman's episode in season 3. I really enjoyed Nick Gage's episode. It was a really it was a learning experience for people who don't know who Nick Gage is. I thought that episode was really fun. Oh man, there was another one that is just slipping my mind right now. The one with Jake Roberts. What was the name of that one?
That's a good question.
Anyway,
I don't recall them.
that episode, Grizzly Smith, right? The Grizzly
Yes, I
Smith
think that's
episode.
what it was. Yeah.
So Grizzly Smith's episode, that one was really good. And it's just some stuff that you didn't realize, I guess, about it. But I feel like a lot of the episodes were kind of a stretch. If I had to pick two really good episodes that really felt like a dark side, was probably XPW and Luna, the last two episodes. Brian Pillman was pretty good. I loved that 2-part episode with Brian Pillman. Nick Gage, if I had to pick a fourth, would definitely be on there. So I mean, there's I just like some episodes, like the plane ride from hell.
It's so you know, it wasn't like
it was so inaccurate, and there were so many things about it that just weren't what they were cracked up to be. I guess you got so many sides to this story, and there's so many planes involved and so many of this. Now I'm not sticking up for anybody that was involved in this. They all came out pretty bad, but it just didn't feel like a dark side to me. It just felt like a random story that they were telling. It didn't really have that dark side of the ring feel. Like
it was like everyone's different point of view. So you never like, oh, who do you trust? Do you trust the stewards? Do you trust, you know, everybody on the plane? It was just like a different point of view from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, accusations are real, and you can't victim shame. So
I think the one that got me was the one that when I got into wrestling, obviously I got into it a little late, was the Benoit one. You know, because that
episode was definitely a dark side.
That was like a very confused one, because you know, you recall you had that one scene where Vince McMahon like died way in the limousine, and then the next week they had to do the tribute. Then the following week we found out, or the following day we found out about everything. So that was just like the most like bizarre thing of what the hell is going on.
Sometimes you got to set storylines aside, man. Like this was a crazy time. I remember watching all of this unfold on the news and on Monday Night Raw, and it was crazy times. The Owen Hart episode
was very.
Oh yeah, that was on season 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 2.
That was season 3.
Oh,
that
was
this
3.
Season. Okay,
it was 3. Yeah,
so Warriors was pretty good. But once again, it was more of a story that you're telling. It didn't really feel like a dark side. I don't know. It was a good story, and it combated with the A&E documentary of The Ultimate Warrior. I feel like if you're going to watch The Ultimate Warrior Dark Side, you should probably go and watch the A&E as well, because it showed 2 different sides of the Warrior, and I felt like it was really good. It was a really good combo. I thought that both documentaries fit together, and I would recommend going to check that out. Guys, we don't want to run this video too long. We're just giving you a little piece of what our podcast is. I hope that you enjoy this first video. We'll be posting clips every single week. If you want to hear the rest of this podcast, it drops this Monday at midnight. So as soon as you wake up and go to work, you got something to listen to on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Don't forget to leave us a comment. Talk about Dark Side. What do you think? What dark sides do you think that they can make for season 4? We would love to hear your thoughts and reactions. Thumbs up this video, subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications. Get us out there, guys. We need to stretch this podcast as far in YouTube land as we can. We're brand new. Send everybody our way, and don't forget to listen to the full show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. I'm Jesse Carter. This is James Bernard Jr., and we will see you on the next segment on the actual podcast. Have a great night.